to talk footy, the AFLW, up and about, mate. It's been a pretty good start to the season.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting, big following, mate. So we thought we'd better get a couple of the Port girls in and find out what's going on. So Jacqui, Yorston and Abbey, Dowrick join us. Thanks for coming in, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, it was good to talk about last week's game. So moving on from that now, or do we have to touch on it?
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay, quickly. It was a good test against the Crows. They've had a 7-year head start on you. So what was the most, other than the margin, and sometimes margins are not quite indicative of the game, what was the most frustrating part for you guys in the game?
I think going with their 7 years to our 15 weeks, it's just the connection that they have as a group was quite, it just gets you because they just know where the handball's going to go, they know where the kicks are going to go, and their structure ahead and behind the ball, it's second nature to them, whereas we're still trying to get that connection, I think, is the most frustrating part. And
physically bigger. They just look bigger all over the ground. I looked at them a couple of weeks before we played them and thought that then, I thought, oh, hang on, they're huge. They are big, strong, been in the gym for 7 years.
Like watching Geelong versus Sydney.
It's basically a little, well, yeah, you know.
It had that similarity to it.
It was a weird one, but they just looked big. But what I know that the club was impressed with, and I know you girls are sitting there, but was the fact that they never stopped tackling all night. It was just bang, bang, bang. Physically, it would have been a really demanding game for you. Yeah?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
Just the way that they don't stop coming at you, and we knew that if we did back off, that they would just get rolling. And I think something that's really important that we've been told the club is quite happy with is they didn't score a goal in the last quarter, so that proves that we didn't back down and we stayed getting in front of them and getting in their face as much as we could.
They're a good side.
Yeah, Jacqui, the journey for you, we were just talking before, 5 brothers that played footy, but you played up in Brisbane, then out of the Gold Coast, and then down to here. So you've got some experience. I know it's still early for you, still young, but you bring some knowledge with you of previous programs, which are still in the infancy for the AFLW. What do you see at Port Adelaide that already is ahead of clubs that have been around a while?
I think the back-end structure of Port Adelaide is the best I've ever been involved with, whether it's the admin, the back-end side of the footy with all our staff and all that sort of thing. They always talk about how the player culture is really important, but it's also the culture within the whole club, and that's probably why we're allowed to do what we do and why Port Adelaide have been so successful even pre-AFL days. That's probably the most important thing. I've seen that the back end of the footy club is just they believe and back us more than anything I've been a part of.
All right, and Abbey, you come from WA down here. What's been the biggest change for you?
I think mine has just been away from family. I've not obviously been in the system before at this level. But yeah, I have my sister here, so that makes it a lot easier for me. But yeah, the girls, the whole club get around you pretty well, so I know I'm supported really well, and yeah, if I need that help, then I know that they're always there for me.
Yours is a unique situation because you played against Mackenzie, your sister, who plays for the Crows, which is amazing. But your journey's an interesting one because you from WA, played for Subi, then came down to SA to play for Woodville West Torrens in a hope to get seen, to get drafted. Yeah,
that was the goal. My sister just put it out to Narelle Smith, the head coach, and I didn't think anything would come of it. That was the idea of it, but played 3 games and then went back home, and then my sister dragged me back over to play the last game of the season so I could play with her, and then after that game I had Naomi asking for my number, so probably pretty glad she dragged me into that last game to...
That's a great story. Come back for that one game, and you must have got a few dobs on you. As well. But I've got to ask you how Mackenzie is, because it looked to be a nasty, serious knee injury that she suffered in the showdown. Is she okay?
Yeah, unfortunately it's an ACL, but I think the girls and myself are going to get around her as much as she can. She's been working really hard this year, so... hopefully she continues and comes back bigger and stronger next year.
Jacqui might be able to give you some advice about that. You know about a ruptured ACL, don't you?
Yeah. I text Kenz as soon as we found out and just said, look, mate, I'll be there for you every step of the way. And
tell us a little bit about yours and the road back from an ACL. You ruptured it?
Yeah, it was painful.
Yep.
When I did it, I knew that I'd done it. It was actually in pre-season, and I knew that I'd done my ACL, but it was just so painful. I knew that there was more damage, and it turns out there was. I actually returned 3 days before my 1 year post-op I guess you can call it an anniversary.
Yeah.
And it's more of a mental struggle than it is physical, I think, for me anyway. I knew that I was mentally going to struggle more than physical. I built the muscle before. That's how I got to where I was. So I knew I could do that. But mentally coming back from such a traumatic injury was the biggest struggle. But my partner was really, really great in it, and he's a footballer as well. So he was kind of like, you don't really have a choice, Jack. So get moving, and he was right.
How long do you reckon it took you? Sorry, but how long do you reckon it took you before you felt comfortable again? It wasn't a worry for you.
For me, I think lucky might not be the word, but I think I was lucky in the way that I really believed in what I'd done in the gym. And the first day that I ran, it hurt. And I said that to our physio at the time, and he goes, yeah, well, it's probably going to hurt for the rest of your life. So you choose now whether you let it impact you or you go and you face it head on. And I did exactly that. And I think a bit of my netball background helped with the change of direction and learning how to do that again. It was kind of second nature. Mentally, I think I struggled until I ran. And after that, I just knew that I had to attack it head on.
We said that Abbey had a unique situation, but you as well had you played with the current coach of Port Adelaide, Lauren. How does that all work? Was she instrumental in getting you down, or because you were teammates?
We were teammates, and we won a state league premiership in the quaffle up in Queensland as well. I think the reason I decided at the end of the day that Port was my option was because of Loz, and not because of she told me that she was selling me the world or anything like that, just that I believe in everything she does, and I believe every word that comes out of her mouth, and I know that what she's doing is trying to create that environment that Port Adelaide want, that we exist to win premierships. And yeah, we're in our first year, but that's our goal, is to build that, and I think Loz is going in the right direction.
What do you think, Ab? Is there any favouritism? Does Jack get a little favouritism from Loz?
From Loz?
What do you think?
You're more
No,
of a
I think
favourite than I am.
Oh, you're more the favourite. Oh, here we go. All right, let's talk about the Hawks this weekend, because you've got a big game coming up. What do we expect from the Hawks?
How do you bounce back? I think that's the key, isn't it?
They'll be
From the showdown, bang, that's out the door now. You would have been reviewed that, would have been good viewing, and that's done. But this is important now, isn't it, Hawthorn?
Yeah, I think it's just like you said, like the game's, it's done now. We just review it and then try to implement what we want to do better in this week's game and games to come, and just play our brand of footy as best we can, as much as we can, and just keep learning every week, probably.
And stick together is the most important part.
And let's talk about the lead into the week against Hawthorn, because a lot of people that don't know sit and watch the game and go, oh, well, the girls turned up on Saturday and played, and they had a couple of practice sessions during the week. You know, I don't know if you've ever found that. People often say to me, well, they don't train that much. I'm going, are you serious about this? You understand? Just give us the lead up from the game finishes and then into the Hawthorn game. Just a quick overview of what the week would be.
Well, this week we had a bit of a longer turnaround. So we've been going off 6-day turnarounds previously. Going into the actual showdown, we had a 5-day turnaround. So it was short break. So then this week we actually got Saturday, Sunday off, and a lot of us had family here, which was nice. And then into review Monday, had gym yesterday, training tonight, which will be a big session. And then we'll do gym on Wednesday. Thursday we'll have another big session on the track. And then Friday we'll do captain's run and we'll fly to Melbourne, and then we'll play Saturday. Yeah. So it's pretty much every day.
It is a packed week, isn't it? You know, and then the reviews and the meetings and all the other stuff. It kind of doesn't take long for the day to be gone. And amongst that, there's massage, physio, recovery,
well,
line
all of
meetings.
our training has to be after 5 p.m. as well. So we have to train at a later time as girls do work, and we've got a couple of girls that are still full-time, which in itself is a credit to them, because that's difficult. But yeah, all of our training has to be at night as well. So.
Had a bit of bad luck losing Gemma early in the year. That's a bit of a blow, wasn't it? I think it was number one. I think she was number one pick. Yeah. But that was a blow. That was a bitter blow, because she was going to be the player. And still will be, obviously. Yeah.
I think we just miss her speed and her presence. As a midfielder, we can both attest that when you look forward and you see Gemma on a lead, and there's always such a big separation gap between her and her defender that it's easier to hit up. But I think our forward line has done as well as they could to fill that space. But you're right, she is someone that you can't just replace.
Just to give you some idea, mate, the lass that played at full back was doing year 12.
Year 12?
Yeah. I think there was a couple of them. I think even Yasmin Dersman
Yeah.
is still doing year 12.
How many do we
It just
have?
looked
I
like-
think we've got 4 or 5 that are still in year 12.
And then
It's
got
amazing,
exams
it's a
coming
licorice
up.
all
Yeah.
sorts, isn't it?
Oh,
You know,
that's
school
amazing, mate.
workers,
It's amazing.
part-time,
Yeah.
full-time footballers.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Hey, girls, well done. It is a terrific start to the season for the club. They're a great club. Success won't be too far away consistently. I know you're battling at the moment, but still in the learning stage. So, learning plates on, P plates on next year, and then we exist to win premierships is
us.
the motto. So,
Well, then.
appreciate
Thanks,
you coming
guys.
in.
Thank
Good luck
you.
on the weekend against the Hawks.
Thanks, guys.
Stay with us. Still a bit more to come.